browsing through Ravelry and I found something interesting that I want to share with you. Did you know that you can knit tubular tuglace on the Passap? To make these socks you can use one of the patterns in the Passap Monomatic manual. If you want to download the instructions, don't forget to check the link in the description. First, make sure the racking handle is in its lowest position. Raise 60 needles on the front bed of the machine, 30 to the left and 30 to the right side of the center. Place the edge springs on the last working needles. Now raise 60 needles on the back bed. You have to observe the needle rule. Then place the edge springs on the last working needles. Set both locks to N and the stitch size to 3. Insert the black strippers and take the main yarn. I will use 2 strands of acrylic yarn to knit the socks. Now knit 1 row. On the front lock increase the stitch size to 5, then set the back lock to GX. Now knit 20 rows. The lock must be on the left side of the machine. Rotate the racking handle anti-clockwise to its upper position. Move the edge springs and use the double-eye bodkin tool to transfer all stitches from the back bed to the opposite needles on the front bed. Make sure all needles on the back bed are out of working position and knit 1 row to sew the brim. Clear the row counter, set both locks to DX and increase the stitch size to 5.5. Slightly raise the first needle to the left, drop the front bed and attach a weight close to it. Now take the left half of the stitches on a decker comb. Drop the front bed and pivot the decker comb. You have to hang the stitches from the decker comb on the opposite 30 needles. Don't forget to support me by liking the video. Place the edge springs on the last working needles and attach weight to the center of the knitting. Now you have to raise pushers according to the diagram. This pattern contains a multiple of 10 stitches. You can modify it, but you won't get the seamless lace fabric. If you want, you can use a permanent marker to mark the pushers which are shown in the diagram. You will need to change the places of these pushers manually for every 4 rows. Now raise the pushers on the back bed as shown in the diagram. These socks will be medium-sized women's socks. You can use a marker to mark the pushers on the back bed as well. Now take the single prong tool and slightly raise all the needles that don't have a pusher in working or in resting position under them. Transfer these stitches to the adjacent needles to the right. Then make sure all empty needles are out of working position. Now on the back bed, raise all needles that don't have a pusher in working or in resting position under them. Use the single prong tool, but this time transfer the stitches to the adjacent needles to the left. Then make sure all empty needles are out of working position. It should look like this. Now knit 4 rows. Don't reset the row counter. On both beds, change the places of the pushers that we marked. It should be as in the diagram. Knit 4 rows again. Now change the places of the marked pushers on both beds. You have to continue repeating these steps until you knit a total of 140 rows. It looks like a lot of work, but I promise you that it is going very fast. You can also knit 6 rows instead of 4. Now clear the row counter, set both locks to CX and the stitch size to 5. Use the orange ruler and raise all needles between the edge springs. It should look like the diagram. Now knit 10 rows. Clear the row counter and set the front lock to BX. Then set the back lock to GX. We are about to knit the heel. On the front bed, raise pushers under all working needles and put them in working position. Before knitting the short rows, don't forget to transfer the purl bumps from the end needles on the front bed to the end needles on the back bed. This will prevent small holes from forming on the heel. Tell me in the comments below, did you know that it is possible to knit a tubular ArtOfClay on the Passap? Put the leftmost pusher in resting position and knit 1 row. Move the edge spring and wind the yarn around the leftmost needle with the pusher in resting position. Now put the rightmost pusher in resting position and knit 1 row. Wind the yarn around the rightmost needle and continue the same way. If you want to see the process up close, you can click on the info card in the upper right corner. Then you have to raise the pushers back one by one until there is only one pusher left in resting position. Now clear the row counter and set both locks to CX. We don't need the pushers anymore. Now knit 120 rows. Move the edge springs to the sides. On each end of each bed, move the 2 end stitches 1 needle in. Then put the empty needles out of working position. Now knit 4 rows and repeat the same steps until the row counter is at 32 rows. Continue making the toe decreases the same way. Knit only 2 rows every time and continue decreasing until there are only 4 stitches left on each bed. Now knit the last 2 rows. Clear the row counter, then take the yarn from the eyelet and cut it. Thread it into the double-eye bodkin tool and sew off the stitches in a circular manner. Don't forget to take off all weights before sewing off the stitches. First take all stitches on the front bed from right to left, then take all stitches on the back bed from left to right. When you take the last stitch, the sock will fall from the machine. This is the sock right after you take it off the machine. You need to insert an elastic band in the hem casing and sew the hem closed using the cast-on tail. Don't make the elastic band too short because it won't be comfortable to wear the socks. Finally, you only need to hide the cast-off tail. This is what the lace looks like. This is the same lace but knitted with a lighter yarn color. The blue one is not visible in the video. And this is the final result. The socks are suitable for women and children with medium-sized feet. Tell me, do you like the socks in the comments below? That's all for today. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day and see you in my next video.